Welcome to Useful Words. Hi, my name is Leroy Glover, and on this channel, we're going to explore useful words. In this video, we're going to share the law of karma. What goes around comes around. You probably heard of the saying, what goes around comes around. And in the context of karma, it's pretty accurate. According to the law of karma, what we do comes back to us, good or bad. So if you're looking to start fresh this year, it might be time to brush up on your karma 101. Let's go through what we gathered. The law of karma is important because it reminds us to be conscientious of our actions and words. We should always be aware of how our actions will affect others and whether or not we are doing something that could come back to haunt us later down the road. Chances are you heard of the law of karma before. It's a core tenet of Buddhism that states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. In other words, what goes around comes around. So if you treat others with kindness, respect, and compassion, chances are you'll be treated the same way in return. But if you're rude, dishonest, or disrespectful, you can expect to receive the same treatment in return. The law of karma is often summed up with the phrase, what goes around comes around. The thing about the law of karma is that it is not just a set of artistic ideas, it's actually a very practical way to live your life. If you want to be happy and successful, it pays to treat others well. Not only will you make them happy, but chances are they'll also want to help you in return. And as we all know, it's much easier to achieve our goals when we have the support of others. The law of karma is often called the golden rule. It's the idea that what we put out into the world will come back to us. So if we want happiness and abundance in our lives, we need to give happiness and abundance to others. It's not just about what we do for ourselves, but also about what we do for others. What is the law of karma? What is karma? Karma is often spoken about in terms of cause and effect. What goes around comes around. Essentially, karma is the belief that your actions has consequences. Good actions will lead to good consequences, and bad actions will lead to bad consequences. While this may sound simple enough, there's a lot more to the law of karma than meets the eye. Let's take a closer look. The law of karma is often spoken about, but not fully understood. People believe in the law of karma, but don't realize how it works or why it's important. The law of karma is the belief that what you put out into the world will come back to you. This means if you do good deeds, good things will happen to you. Similarly, if you do bad deeds, bad things will happen to you. Of course, it's not always that simple. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes bad things happen to good people, and vice versa. The law of karma is often spoken about, but not fully understood. People believe in the law of karma, but don't realize how it works or why it's important. Karma is often seen as a form of justice because people get what they deserve. If someone does something bad, they will eventually face consequences because bad things happen to them as a result of their actions. This form of justice is often seen as fair because people get what they deserve. Karma is the sum of a person's action in this and previous states of existence regarded as dictating that person's destiny. In other words, it is the accumulation of all the good and bad things you've done in your life. It's important to remember that karma is not just about bad things you do, it's also about the good things. Every action you take has an impact on your karma, for better or for worse. The origins of karma. The law of karma is a fundamental principle of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. However, the concept of karma actually predates all three of these religions. The belief that our actions has consequences is found in various ancient texts from cultures all around the world. In Hinduism, the concept of karma is closely linked to the notion of dharma. Dharma is often translated as duty, but it encompasses so much more than that. Dharma encompasses everything that is good and right in the world. It's your moral duty to uphold dharma, to do what is right, and in turn, it will lead to good karma. Similarly, in Buddhism, one of the central teachings is the idea of cause and effect. The Buddha taught that everything we do has a consequence. Nothing happens by chance or by accident. If we want to experience good things in life, we need to make good choices and take good action. How does the law of karma work? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have all the luck in the world while others can't catch a break? It could be because the law of karma. The law of karma is often described as what goes around comes around. In other words, if you do good deeds, good things will happen to you. On the other hand, if you do bad deeds will happen to you. While this may sound like a simple concept, the law of karma is actually a powerful tool that can help you create the life you want. Here's how. The law of karma helps keep us accountable for our actions. We are more likely to think twice before doing something bad if we know that we will ultimately have to face the consequences for our actions. This can help us make better choices and lead better lives overall. The law of karma and your intentions. One of the most things to understand about the law of karma is that your intentions matter. It's not enough to simply do good deeds. You have to do them with the right intentions. For example, let's say you give money to a homeless person. If your intention is to make them feel better or to help them in some way, then that is a good deed, and good karma will come your way as a result. However, if your intention is to make yourself feel better or to receive something in return, then you get the idea. Good deeds lead to good things happening. When you do good deeds with pure intentions, you are putting positive energy into the universe. This positive energy will eventually come back to you in the form of good things happening in your life. For example, let's say if you go out of your way to help a friend in need, the selfless act will put positive energy into the universe, and eventually that positive energy will come back to you in some way. Perhaps a friend will go out of their way to help you when you need it, or maybe you'll find yourself in a much better place than you were when you first started. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Bad deeds lead to bad things happening. Just as good deeds can lead to good things happening, bad deeds can lead to bad things happening as well. This is because when you do bad deeds with malice intent, you are putting negative energy into the universe. This negative energy will eventually come back to haunt you in some way. For example, let's say you gossip about a friend behind their back. This act will put negative energy into the universe, and eventually that negative energy will come back to bite you. Perhaps someone will gossip about you behind your back, or maybe you'll find yourself in a sticky situation because of something you said. Again, who knows? But one thing for sure, if you put negative energy into the universe, eventually that negative energy will come back around. The law of karma is an important concept that everyone should be aware of. It's important to be conscientious of your actions and words because they can come back to haunt you later down the road. The law of karma helps keep us accountable for our actions and encourages us to make better choices overall. What are some examples of karma in action? Why should you believe in karma? So now that we understand the question, what is karma? It's time to answer the question, why should we believe in it? After all, it's easy enough to write off the law of karma as some vague metaphysical concept with no bearing on real life. But I believe that could be further from the truth. Here are 3 reasons why you should believe in karma. 1. It promotes good deeds. If you believe in karma, then you know that every kind word or act of kindness you do will come back to you tenfold. As a result, you're more likely to go out of your way to help others, and what could be wrong with that? Spreading positivity and goodwill is never a bad thing. Number 2, it holds you accountable for your actions. If you believe in karma, then you know that everything you do has consequences, both good and bad. As a result, you're less likely to make rash decisions or act impulsively without thinking about the potential consequences first. In other words, believing in karma can help you keep you accountable for your actions and ensure that you always think twice before doing something you might regret later down the road. Number 3, it helps you lead a more positive life. As a result, we are all interconnected. What we do affects not just us, but also those around us. So if we want to lead positive lives full of happiness and joy, it's important that we strive to make positive choices, not just for ourselves, but also for those around us as well. Because ultimately, we're all connected. You get what you give. Have you ever noticed that people who are always putting others down tend to be unhappy themselves? Or that people who are always complaining never seem to catch a break? That's because they attract negative energy into their lives. If you want good things to come your way, you need to put the good out into the world first. The next time you feel angry or resentful towards someone, try to let it go. You'll be surprised at how much better you feel when you do. What goes around comes around. This is similar to the first example, but it goes one step further. Not only will your actions come back to you eventually, but so will the actions of others. Have you ever been mistreated by someone only to later find out that they went through something similar themselves? Or maybe you lent a friend money only to have them lend you money when you needed it most. These are both examples of how what goes around comes around. So next time someone does something nice for you, pay it forward. You never know when you might need a little goodwill in return. Instant karma. Sometimes the law of karma works in very mysterious ways. Let's say you help a friend move into their new home. You might not think anything of it at the time, but down the line, your friend could return the favor by helping you move into your new home. This is an example of good karma. Let's say you hold the door open for someone. The immediate consequence is that the person gets through the door more easily. But down the line, someone might hold the door open for you when you're in a rush. The law of karma doesn't necessarily mean that good deeds will be repaid with good deeds. It just means that your actions have consequences and that those consequences will come back to you eventually. A woman who volunteers at a soup kitchen every week finds herself surrounded by friends who are always willing to help her when she needs it. A man who is always critical and judgmental towards others discovers that no one wants to be around him, including his family and friends. A student who studies hard and gets good grades receives scholarships and opportunities that she otherwise wouldn't have had. A gossip monger who delights in spreading rumors eventually becomes the center of negative gossip himself. An employer who is fair and just towards his employees creates a workplace where everyone is happy and productive. A woman who is constantly complaining about her life discovers that her negative attitude is preventing her from seeing all the good things she has going for her. The law of karma is a powerful tool that can help you create the life you want. And by understanding how the law works and by making sure your intentions are pure when doing good deeds, you can put positive energy into the universe, which will eventually come back around to benefit you. So next time you're considering whether or not to help someone in need or gossip about someone behind their back, think about the law of karma and how your actions could impact your life down the line. Choose wisely. Can I change my karma? How does karma work? The law of karma is often misunderstood. People think that if you do something good will happen in return. However, this isn't always the case. The law of karma actually works on a much deeper level than that. You see, every action you take, both good and bad, has energy attached to it. This energy then goes out into the universe and attracts similar energy back to you. So if you're constantly putting out negative energy into the world through your thoughts, words, and actions, then you're going to attract more negativity into your life. Conversely, if you're putting out positive energy, then you're going to attract more positivity back into your life. It's really that simple. Every action you take has consequences, whether immediate or down the line. Your actions create energy, and that energy eventually comes back to you. How we treat others really do matter. Our actions have an impact on those around us, even if we don't realize it. The law of karma doesn't judge whether our actions are good or bad. It simply responds to them in whatever way we create balance in our lives. So if we're constantly putting out positive energy, eventually we'll receive positive results. And of course, the law of karma isn't always immediate. Sometimes it takes years for the effect of our actions to come back to us. And sometimes they come back in ways we don't expect, which is why it's so important not to get too attached to any particular outcome. The first step is to understand that your actions have consequences. And if you want to change your karma, you need to start by making different choices. That might mean being more mindful of how your actions will impact others, or taking more time to think through the implications of your choices. Making changes to your karma takes time and effort, but it's definitely possible. The key is to be patient and consistent. Keep making positive choices, and eventually your karma will change for the better. If you believe in karma, then it stands to reason that you can change your karma by changing your actions. If you've been unkind in the past and you want to reverse your fortunes, start by being more compassionate to others. Volunteer your time to the local shelter or food bank. Give blood or offer to help a neighbor with yard work or grocery shopping. Small acts of kindness can make a big difference, not just for the recipient of your actions, but for yourself as well. How can I apply the law of karma into my life? How can I use karma to create the life I want? Now that you understand how the law of karma works, you can start using it to create the life you want. If there's something you want more in your life, whether it's abundance, love, or simply happiness, then start putting out that energy into the world. Trust that the universe will send it back to you tenfold. Focus on being kind to others, speaking kindly about others, and doing good deeds whenever possible. The more positive energy you put out there, the more positive things will come back into your life. One step is to get rid of any negative thoughts or feelings you may have towards others. Holding on to resentment and anger is only going to bring more negativity into your life. Instead, try to see things from the other person's perspective and let go of any grudge you may be holding on to. Forgiveness isn't about condoning someone's bad behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the negative emotions they caused you. Next, start making an effort to spread positivity into your everyday interactions with others. Smile at strangers, give compliments, and go out of your way to help people when you can. These small gestures can make a big difference in someone else's day, and in turn, they're likely to pay it forward by doing something nice for someone else. And finally, don't forget to show yourself some compassion too. Beating yourself up over past mistakes will only hold you back from living your best life. We all make mistakes. It's part of being human. Learn from your errors and move on. Remember, karma is all about balance, so make sure you're taking care of yourself too. How how to apply good karma in your life. If you're not happy with your current life situation, then it's time to take a good hard look at your actions and see if they're aligned with what you really want. If they're not, then it's time to make some changes. But where do you start? Here are a few ideas. Number 1, be honest with yourself. The first step is to get real about what you want. It might be tempting to put a brave face and act like everything is okay when it's not. But that doesn't do anyone any good. You're not helping yourself, and you're not helping those around you. So take a deep breath and be honest about what you really want in your life. Only then can you begin to make the changes necessary to improve your situation. Number 2, evaluate your relationships. Your relationships are one of the biggest factors shaping your karma. If you're in a toxic relationship, chances are it's affecting other areas of your life as well. Maybe you've been putting up with bad behavior because you don't want to be alone, or because you think things would get better eventually. But if someone is constantly treating you badly, then it's time to let them go for your own sake. Consider your career choice. Your job plays a big role in shaping your karma as well. If you're dreading going to work every day, it's probably negativity affecting other areas of your life as well, like your relationships or your health. Of course, changing jobs isn't always easy or even possible for some people. But if it's an option, then it's worth considering whether or not it's the right move for you. Make time for yourself. Yes, work and responsibilities are important, but don't forget about taking care of yourself too. When was the last time you did something just for fun? When was the last time you allowed yourself to relax or recharge? If it's been a while, then maybe now is the time to put yourself first for once. Be mindful of your words and actions. Every thought and deed creates energy that radiates into the universe and comes back to you. So if you want more good things in your life, make sure your actions and intentions are positive. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. We all make mistakes from time to time. Just try to catch yourself when you're about to say or do something negative and make a conscious effort to turn it into something positive instead. Do something nice for someone else. One of the best ways to improve your life is to do something nice for someone else with no expectations of anything in return. Helping others makes us feel good because it's an innate human nature to want to lend a helping hand when we see someone struggling. Whether it's holding the door open for a stranger or volunteering at the local soup kitchen, there are countless ways to perform acts of kindness. The next time you're feeling low, brighten someone else's day and see how much better you feel as a result. Practice gratitude daily. Another way to attract more positivity into your life is by practicing gratitude on a daily basis. Start each day by taking a few moments to think about everything you're grateful for in your life, no matter how big or small. Maybe you're grateful for your health and your family and friends, or simply the fact that you woke up this morning. Whatever it is, focus on those positive aspects of your life and let them fill you with joy. A daily gratitude practice can help shift your mindset from negative to positive and allow you to see the glass half full rather than half empty. Another step is to get rid of any negative thoughts or feelings you have towards others. Holding on to resentment and anger is only going to bring more negativity into your life. Instead, try to see things from the other person's perspective and let go of any grudge you may be holding on to. Forgiveness isn't about condoning someone else's bad behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the negative emotions they cause you. Next, start making an effort to spread positivity in your everyday interactions with others. Smile at strangers, give compliments, and go out of your way to help people when you can. These small gestures can make a big difference in someone else's life, and in turn, it's likely to pay it forward by doing the same nice thing for someone else. In short, the law of karma is the belief that what goes around comes around. Our actions has consequences, good or bad. The law of karma exists in very ancient texts from cultures all over the world, and there are many reasons why we should believe in it too. Believing in karma can promote good deeds, hold you accountable to your actions, and help lead you down a more productive path in life. So the next time someone asks you, what is karma? Hopefully you'll be able to give them a helpful explanation. A lot of people worry about the law of karma because they're afraid they'll be punished for their bad deeds. But remember, the law of karma isn't about punishment and rewards. It's about cause and effect. So as long as you learn from your mistakes and try to make better changes in the future, there's nothing really to worry about. Besides, even if your bad deeds do come back to haunt you, remember, we all make mistakes and nobody is perfect. What matters most is how you learn from your mistakes and grow as a person. So don't let the fear of reputation stop you from living your life. Try to be a good person and learn from your mistakes when they happen. The law of karma is a powerful tool that you can use to create the life you want. But it's important to remember that it all starts with you. If you want more abundance in your life, focus on being abundant yourself. If you want more love in your life, focus on giving love. If you want more happiness in your life, focus on being happy yourself. When you put good out into the world, good will come back to you tenfold. So what are you waiting for? Start living your best life today. I'm Leroy Glover, and I thank you.